Welcome back to another week of training. Started off with squats and dunks on Monday as per usual. This was a volume squat session, so 150 by 6. Program said 3 sets of 6 at 150. Because the main focus of this session was just vertical jump, didn't want to overly fatigue myself by doing an extra set at 150. It was moving really well. My intent was just to move the bar as fast as possible. 2 by 6 at 150. Then I moved into some dunks, some higher rim dunks. This, unfortunately, is the last ever session I'll probably be doing in this particular space, which I get comments all the time that it looks like such an amazing space to train in, because unfortunately I'm having to move out of this flat, explained in the video that I uploaded a few days ago. So I kind of wanted to send this session off with a bit of a bang. So we got the green light to increase the rim height to 10 feet. So here you're seeing some 9-6 dunks off of the left leg. Managed a little squeaky two-hander in there. Then it was just trying to build up on the two-legged approaches, right, left, and left, right. Just trying to hit the best dunks I possibly can on all of these heights. So just about managed to squeak in a windmill on a right-left approach. Missed a couple here. I think it was this one that was a make, kind of like a very small windmill, like a baby mill, not a super like cock it back. But I definitely got a much better one on the left-right approach because I jumped much higher on the left-right. So yeah, that was the first one. Then I got an actual proper, like, bit more of a round windmill when I did these approaches here. That was the best one of the day. And then at that point I was like, right, that's a windmill PR. I'm increasing the rim height to 10 feet. Put these two bumper plates underneath, which increased the rim height to 10 feet. Measured it out. It was pretty much 10 foot on the dot. And then straight in, first dunk, made it. That's a dunk PR. Got a left, right, off the dribble approach. Second one was a make. Made some attempts at some lobs, but the lobs just weren't falling that day. Figured I'd just go for one more make. And then got this one, which was probably the best dunk of the day. Relatively decent flush. Still got a little bit of rim on the front rim. But super happy with that. Like, that's a dunk PR 3 times off the dribble on 10 feet. Really nice. And then we finished up with some off-vert 9-6 dunks. Had a few attempts at the cuff one here. Missed it several times. And then, finally made it on the last one. And then a little tomahawk. So that was Monday. Really, really good session. On to Tuesday, we did some increased deficit deadlifts. This is a 5 centimeter, maybe even like a 6 or 7 centimeter deficit here now, like a 15 kilo and a 25 kilo bumper plate. I don't know what the standard sizes are for the diameters on for the depth on those, but that's definitely more than it was before, where I was just doing the red plate, the 25 kilo plate. Sets of 5 at 170, and then a back off set, which I didn't record, at 160, 2 sets of 5 at that. Then we had a pause strict press rep out, so just doing as many reps as I possibly can with 60 kilograms. I think I ended up getting like 8 here, maybe 9, I can't remember. This was a while ago. It was last week, but yeah, my PR for just strict press rep out, like no pause, was, I think it was 10.5 reps, almost 11, maybe 11.5 reps. I can't remember exactly, but it was definitely more than 8. So definitely haven't lost any strength on the strict press. It's definitely in a plateau at the moment. I'm not like training it a crazy amount every week and trying to PR my push press. But yeah, it's a bit frustrating to be going through a plateau, hence the, changing in variation, changing up the accessories as well. Did a tricep extension. This was programmed in as a cable tricep extension, but this is probably my favorite tricep exercise of all time. I really like that you get a little bit of like a shoulder mobility benefit, as well as a nice full range of motion stretch on the tricep. And then I paired this with what was supposed to be a cable face pull, rope cable face pull, but ended up just doing some rear delt flies, bench supported. Really, really like these. I can always feel my upper back working, like lighting up like fire on this, especially if I try and lift my chest off the bench at the top. And yeah, I think this was like a 10 kilo on each hand, 12.5 kilos. And then this bicep exercise wasn't on the program, but I really wanted to do something for my elbow tendons to get a nice stretch. Elbow tendons have been flaring up a little bit with all the muscle ups I've been doing. 25 a day, still going. I can't remember exactly what day I'm on right now, but I'm definitely almost up to day 30 if I'm not mistaken. generally just keeping it within 5 sets of 5. When I first start out on the first couple of sets of 5, the form is really strict, but as we go on, it starts to go pretty bad and there's more kipping. But the goal is that as I progress through the challenge, I'll get better and better at doing them all without kipping. Nice strict form. Then this was Wednesday. This was like a little short jump session. Wasn't planning on doing any dunks. This was just supposed to be like depth landings like this off of the second highest step on the ladder, which is 50 inches, if I'm not mistaken. These were feeling really, really good. And it was at this point that I was like, you know what? This might be the last time in a very, very long time that I actually do dunk on this rim. So I was like, you know what? I am just going to see how high I can do for an off-vert dunk. So the rim was already set to 9.6 from the other day previously. So I put a 3-inch bumper plate, like a 3 and a bit inch bumper plate underneath the rim, and decided to go for a 9.9, which would be an off-vert PR dunk on this rim. So here it is, 9'9", feeling out the height there. That's definitely 9'9". I measured it as well. Yeah, I think it was exactly 9'9" when I measured it. So yeah, 9.9, and then I managed to get an off-vert dunk on 9.9, which I was incredibly happy with. Missed it a couple of times. As soon as I miss and go back rim, I know that I'm going to make the dunk. It's just a technical error. I was so hyped at this. Emotions are running wild because it's probably the last dunk session I'm going to have on this rim. Maybe even the last dunk session in a long time, because you know how bad it is to get access to rims in the UK. Very, very hyped. Carrying the world on my shoulders, just like Atlas is in that tattoo. Got one more dunk there and then had to dismantle the rim so I could put it away. I have not had to sell this rim or anything. All I've had to do is just put it into storage. Luckily, I know a gym owner near where I live. He's actually one of my clients. And basically, I asked him if I could put all of my weights and my basketball hoop, dismantled and everything into storage. He said it was totally fine. So it's in storage. I've still got access to it. It's just I'm not going to be able to actually use it for dunks or use the weights for lifting in the place that it's in right now. But I'll still have access to a Vertec, which is something that will be an external goal that I can use to drive intent. With the good thing about a Vertec is that you know pretty much exactly what your vertical jump is, and you can just try and increase the number every week. So if it's not a rim that I'm going to have access to, it'll at least be a Vertec. So yeah, finished off this workout with just some approach jump mechanics, just emphasizing stabbing that block step in nice and hard. Thursday, power clean complex. It was supposed to be a hang power clean, 2 power jerks, and then 1 more hang power clean. I managed it quite easily at 100 at like an RP 8. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this with 120, which was my old power clean PR for 6 months ago. And now it's probably something I can do a complex with, which is quite nice. Missed the last rep on it, but I think coming around 2 weeks time, I'll definitely be able to hit that with 120. Then moved into back squat triples. It was meant to be 160 today, but 170 was on the cards. Felt really strong. It moved really, really well. Probably could have done maybe 1 more rep, like a 4 RM at 170. It's just amazing to think that this used to be my 1 RM for the longest time, and now I'm hitting it for a triple with relative ease. Weighing in myself this day as well at 87 kilograms. That's almost a 2 times body weight squat for a triple, which is a pretty decent strength standard to be moving forwards with. Speaking of moving forwards, we did some sprints on Thursday. As opposed to doing the sprint group sessions in the evening, this was the day that I was actually moving flats. So I wanted to get the sprints in early and just do some acceleration sprints, really just focusing on the acceleration mechanics, focusing on keeping my ankles as stiff as possible on those first 3 steps, because I always notice my ankle collapsing. Something that I've realized is that ankle stiffness is really just about stabbing your foot into the ground as hard as possible through the ball of the foot, like actually allowing your big toe joint to flex as much as possible as you stab into the ground, and just keep your heel lifted as high as you possibly can. And just being able to do that at speed is what makes a sprinter a really good sprinter. So you can see the ankle stiffness on these reps is looking a lot better than it has done in the past. Torso angle isn't the best, but I'm much happier with the ankle stiffness on these reps here. After I finished up with the sprints, I did a set of, I did all of my muscle ups for this day and the day before, which I missed. I completely missed doing the muscle ups, unfortunately, because I just forgot about them for whatever. So I was like, right, better make up for the ones that I missed. Ended up doing 50 muscle ups in one session. So, and that's the most muscle ups I've ever done in one day. The sets of 5 are starting to feel a lot easier. Obviously, the amount of kip is, pretty egregious on these. But the goal is, as I said previously, to just increase the work capacity that I have for muscle ups and to be able to do more and more in a given time period, so that I just get better and better at the skill. It's gone to the point where I can just bash out 25 within the space of like 20 or 15 minutes quite easily. So that's a really good sign. I've improved my work capacity for muscle ups. And the fact that I'm able to do 50 in one session is a good sign as well. My elbows were pretty sore after this. I'm not going to lie. Like, all the tendons around my elbows, a little bit sore. Perhaps it's a little bit of tendonitis. But fingers crossed, I won't forget about doing the muscle ups again. And it will always just be 25 a day. So I won't ever have to have a massive spike in volume like this. And then rounding out the week on Saturday, I completed the leg training, which I was supposed to be doing on Friday. But as I said, Friday was the move-in day. I had to move a bunch of stuff, driving back and forth between 2 flats, carrying a bunch of heavy shit up like 3 flights of stairs. My legs were just not up to doing this on the same day as all of that. So I figured I would do this on the next day. Had some rear foot and front foot elevated Bulgarians with load in each hand. It was 2 sets of 15 per side. And then on the last set, it was an AMRAP with a drop set with 10 kilos in each hand. So my legs are pretty cooked after that. Then we finished up with some leg extensions and some leg curls for a superset. This was the last set at just an AMRAP. So I maxed out the machine, added in the pad for some extra range of motion, trying to lean back as far as I can to get as much hip extension here as I can. And I got 20 reps with this. And then I was supersetting that with the lying leg curl, just for a little bit of variety this week. Last couple of weeks, I've been doing seated leg curl. Generally, I tend to prefer the seated leg curl because you can get more range of motion on the hamstring muscle. As you lean forward with the torso, you get more hip flexion and then knee extension. You're going to get more stretch on the biceps femoris muscle, which is a biarticulate muscle. But it's also nice to be able to get a little bit more of the, if I'm not mistaken, the proximal end of the hamstring. When you do a lying hamstring curl, you're going to get like more of those muscle fibers that are closer towards the glute end of the hamstring rather than towards like the back of the knee end of the hamstring. But anyway, that was it for the workouts for the week. And here is a little physique update. I will catch you guys in the next one.